Hello, everybody. Joe Bag of Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of White Album. There's like falling snow. Last time we left off, did some Sayoko stuff. Yeah, that's what we did. It's been a couple days, just a few, like 5 since I last recorded. So the exact details of what we did are a tinge fuzzy. I've been very busy with school and work recently. Right now, I'm taking a class instead of going to work. So, I'm out of the office instead of doing my normal bullshit. I'm in a classroom environment. I'm pretty sure I talked about this last time I recorded. It's why I was so tired then. But, long and short of it is, we're out of like the looking at PowerPoints and taking notes portion of the class, and we're into making presentations and presenting the portion of the class, which involves me, essentially designing a class plan, making PowerPoints, going through it, and presenting it to my class. And then on top of that, I'm also taking a writing class for college. So I have to research and write essays for that. And it just so happened that over the weekend, I had multiple assignments due all at the beginning of this week at the same time. So that's all I did. All I did the entire weekend was work on projects. And I did not want to get sidetracked with, recording, because then it'd be like, ooh, that was a nice recording session. Time to like unwind and play a video game or something. And then it just be completely, distracted for the rest of the day and not get any work done. So you guys were sacrificed in order for me to keep my job and stay in school and not get kicked out. Much apologies. Anyway, yeah. I think, what happened last time? It was like the big scene with Sayoko in her green room. She got all angry, failed her entrance exams, whatever. And then it was just kind of Yuki stuff, which for some reason was a bunch of stuff we'd pretty much already seen before, with like Yayoi and Yuki over at his apartment. But I guess the scene was slightly different for reasons like giving Yuki a concussion at the very start. But other than that, it kind of all played out exactly the same. Again, don't know why that wasn't considered previously read content, but hey, I'm sure the game has a reason for it. Just realized that my controller's not plugged in. Wrangling and trying to untangle all my cables and get the right USB-C to plug into the controller. There we go. Hopefully there wasn't too much of an audio hiccup there when it's decided that it didn't want to record from my PlayStation controller. It actually wanted to record from the microphone. I've had that happen before when I plug it in. Sometimes OBS is like, oh, a new audio source. You must want to use this one. And it's trying to record from my... It's like not even a microphone on this thing. It's got a little internal onboard microphone. A little shitty one. So I guess, in theory, if my microphone ever breaks, I could just hold up my PlayStation controller in front of my mouth and sound like... I don't even know what kind of sound quality that would be. Literally fucking 2 tin cans with a string kind of quality. Anyway. Oh. I've said anyway like 3 times. Trying to transition to actually recording. Or starting the session. So let's do that. Pretty sure we got a couple days of just staying at home doing nothing, so. Only one day of staying home and doing nothing. Then we have an event. And then we have a week of staying home doing nothing. Can't believe it's already January 3rd. Really gotta get out of the New Year's vacation mindset that's shrouded all aspects of my life. I say, after having slept in longer than I had ever... Oh. I'm fine. Longer than I ever have to date. I wonder who's on TV. All I seem to watch lately are New Year's specials, but the news should be starting right around now. The TV show's a crowded street somewhere. City's just as packed today as it always is. I'm guessing most people are taking advantage of their last day off before going back to work tomorrow. Huh? Oh yeah, she did say she was doing some specials. Oh, it's Sayoko. She's the reporter on the streets. And this is live. I don't envy her having to report from the middle of that chaos. Come to think of it, I haven't seen her in quite a while. Oh yeah, you guys had kind of like your big... I don't really call it a falling out. Oh, that's right. You said you'd go hang out with her, but you got the dates, you know, mixed up. Or she might have. I don't know. It was one of those situations where like, oh, it just crossed over to midnight. And we plan to meet up yet tomorrow, but does she mean today tomorrow or tomorrow? And he's like, I already got plans for New Year's. I mean, not New Year's, Christmas Eve. And you just kind of blew her off because for some reason you don't have her phone number because you have a shitty old phone that doesn't have any caller history on it, so you can't just jot it down. That can't be right. It's only been a week or so. Compared to last month, where we saw each other practically every day, that week feels like forever. Right, ever since that night. I haven't seen her since I stood her up on Christmas Eve, not even to apologize. And she hasn't called. Since I don't know her number, all I can do is wait for her to reach out first. You could always do something big and dramatic and rush down to where she's reporting from and hit her up as soon as the camera's off. Isn't that Nimi Station? If I go right now, I might be able to catch her. Yeah, let's go! Woo! I might be able to make it if I leave right now. I have just enough time to throw on a coat. Not very good at the whole soliciting people on the street thing, huh? I'm pretty sure this is the place where they were filming. The crowd is making it hard to tell for sure. Maybe they wrapped up shooting for the day? Possible she may have left the crew and stuck around here, though. I'm tired. I just got a class. When she's out in public, she doesn't usually have a noticeable idle aura. I wonder if I'll be able to find her. Never noticed until now, since it seems like I've only ever been at school or at the TV station lately. But this might be the first time I'm going to meet Sayoko instead of vice versa. The realization instantly makes me feel ashamed. I guess I'll head back. Huh? You know, metaphorically, in life, we're lost. No, I was just... Oh, you ran away, you pussy. I run. I keep running. Why is she so fast? She grabs me. I mean, she probably does a lot of cardio to stay in shape. Burn off any fat. You're really fast, Sayoko. Oh, you know, just insurmountable levels of shame and guilt. No problem. I mean, I'm sorry about Christmas Eve. I got the date wrong. I thought we were making plans for the 23rd. What? Okay. Is she not mad? I already had plans on the 24th, and since I didn't have your number, I couldn't call to tell you. I'm really sorry. All I can do is hang my head. There's no way she can easily overlook what happens, no matter what excuse I give her. Really? You guys are friends, and that kind of thing, once you understand the context, is like, oh, that's all it was? Alright, yeah, sure. Water under the bridge. Because from her perspective, I basically stood her up on Christmas Eve. But her response is not something I was expecting. I'm so flabbergasted that all I can do is stand there for a moment. You forgive me? Not only did I jump to the wrong conclusion, but she's not even a little upset. I mean, he does live alone, just fall in the shower, hit his head, and he's just sitting there dead in his tub. Sayoko, I feel the need to apologize surging up inside me. If it had been me waiting there and Sayoko had no-showed, I probably would have assumed that she got into an accident and was hurt. And yet the obvious thought never once occurred to me that she would make the same assumption. I'm sorry. Yeah, and you genuinely feel bad about it, so I was like, well, what can you do? Eventually, my feelings of guilt over what happened becomes a reluctance. What? A reluctance to leave. Becomes a reluctance to leave. Feelings of guilt over what happened becomes a reluctance to leave. My brain does not compute that sentence. Moving on. Like, I get the general gist, but it's like, why is it worded that way? Are you done with work for today? I guess reluctance to leave this conversation happening right now, I suppose. Hey, so if that's the case... Uh-huh. I just came here because I saw you on TV. Yeah, that's some real stalker shit, huh? I turned on the TV and you happened to be there. I immediately ran out, so I didn't watch for long. But I guess the reporter on the streets bit didn't go so well. The rest of it went well then? Everyone always misses the parts we get right, huh? There we go. Come on, keep the ball rolling. I'm really messing this up. She even stole my own line from me. Yeah, sure. Where do you want to go? No, you could have saved it. You should have been like, yeah, sure. Let me treat you. Let's go. And then you just take her. Come on, bud. But that's the place we almost ran into Yuki. So you say, but... she's not wrong. That is their usual haunt. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We clink our coffee cups together. So, got any New Year's resolutions? How about studying and getting to school this year, huh? What about retaking that college exam? Yeah, that is the hardest part. You know, missing the hurdle and then having to scrape yourself off the pavement afterwards because you're just lying there because you missed the mat. Metaphorically speaking. Her unique personality shines forth in her answer. What about your goals as a singer then? You're planning on taking lessons or anything? Yeah, but you know, going above and beyond. I mean, are you? I like how her one eyebrow is kind of squiggly, you know? The one on our left, her right. You know, the one on our right, it's straight, but then the one on the left, it's kind of got a wiggle waggle to it. I'm still not convinced. And it's only when she gets like furrows her brow like that. Normally it looks fairly straight. And then she sighs in exasperation. Yeah, see, there it goes. Now it's straight again. Same. Also feel the same way, but I feel like that's because I literally have something wrong in my brain chemistry. And I probably have like undiagnosed ADHD. But I'm just suffering in silence because I don't know. I don't know why. She has perfected the art of making excuses. But you can't just not practice at all. Not if you want to keep up with Rino Agate and Yuki Morikawa, right? She immediately slams her coffee cup against the table with a loud bang. Careful with that, I don't want to crack it, chip it. Her sudden outburst catches me off guard. I have no idea how to react. I just read it in a magazine. She snaps before slumping gloomily back against her chair. I can tell she's upset. Once she grows silent, her rage quickly becomes readily apparent. You could have given like a way more realistic excuse, like, yeah, fucking Eiji was talking my ear off when I was trying to work at the station about it fucking one time. But then, you know, that brings up Eiji and it just get her angry again in a different way. My heart aches briefly in response to her words. Especially since that everything being tossed aside includes me. Her voice trails off weakly. Her self-worth seems to be based on her failure to measure up to Rina or Yuki. And because of that, she's unable to see what she's capable of. I don't think it's impossible for her to become a singer. But Sayoko. Before I can give her my diamonds can't shine without polish analogy, she brusquely cuts me off. Ooh, a real honest feedback session? What kind of things do they say to you? Ah! Ooh, you're in one of those companies. I find myself at a loss for words. That is pretty bad. Probably don't want to go down that road because, you know, one thing leads to another, then next thing you know, you're a JV actress. Now, that seems like a slap in the face to the girls who work hard in that industry. You know, but not saying that's a bad thing. I'm sure there's plenty of people who do it because it's their passion in life and they find joy in it. But, you know, if it's not your passion and joy and you end up doing it just to pay the bills, well, that's another topic entirely. She brushes aside my objection. Yeah, he probably just had some backup school. Just it would suck because none of his friends would be there. Well, she's not necessarily wrong. Since Misaki was a student at the Unagi College, that's where he wanted to go. To the point where we didn't even bother applying anywhere else. Ooh, bad move. But I started having second thoughts about it before the exam, and I remember making that exact same excuse to myself. Yeah, you know, just keep that, you know, a personal hobby instead of, you know, a professional one. Well, she seems to have the mental fortitude to cheer herself up at least. Oh, you know, cheat on my girlfriend. Me? I asked her without a second thoughts, but now that the question's been flipped, I'm not sure. Stay healthy. Have a happy home life. When you assume you make an ass, of you and me. With the tables turned, even her attitude is different. Well, I still haven't completed my resolution from last year, so I should probably work on that first. Oh, yeah, you know. Probably like deepen my relationship with Yuki or something. I'm the one who started this conversation, so it's too late to back down now. It's about the reason why you were crying. She looks at me suspiciously. Well, you know. When we first met. No, when you ran into me in the TV station. Yeah, you had something in your eye. Got some, like, eyeliner or something. I had a clear view of your face from the spot I was in. Same, I feel that. I'll just, like, be staring up the ceiling, and then it's like, oh, for some reason I feel like I'm about to cry. Let's not do that. Bottle up the emotions, keep them buried buried deep down where you can't feel them or hear them. Yeah, sure.
本人にそのつもりがないんだから、たとえ涙がこぼれても。
Just gotta not let it set in. Don't let it set in. Get up and do something else. I guess that's how she views it, at least. Or the excuse she gives herself.
どうしてそんなこといつまでも気にするのよ。
Until I decide whether it's something I should be concerned about or not.
それはそうだけど。
A look of hesitation crosses her face for the briefest of moments.
トウヤ君が思ってるほど大げさな話。
Yeah, mountains out of molehills. Okay.
そんなに見つめないでよ。
Is this better? I purposefully look away from her. Good.
顎に手はいらない。
She immediately begins talking, as if whatever embarrassment she was feeling before is gone.
尾形英二に言われたのよ。ちょうどいいんじゃないかって。
What would be perfect?
あなた、自分が何を渡そうとしてたのか忘れたの？
Yeah, you know, you get hitched to that guy, get to star in his movies as his hot actor wife. I guess she's talking about the engagement ring AG forced onto her. And then for that, you know, actually get some music roles because he has connections. The one with the giant diamonds.
つまり、
Yeah.
寿引退するにはちょうどいい
Or
って意
that.
味よ。
Can't be an idol if you're in a relationship. Oh. And in response,
桜目を卒業してソロデビューしたことをそんな風に言うなんて。
her eyes are quickly filling with transparent teardrops, threatening to spill at any moment. Sorry, you don't have to talk about it.
だから違うって言ってるでしょ。悔し涙は泣いてるうちに入らないんだから。
She wipes her eyes with a paper napkin. Assuming she doesn't want to get her handkerchief dirty.
悔しかったのはそれだけが理由じゃないし。
Said something else? She silently shakes her head.
私自身もね。
What, you like hit him? You seem like a pretty emotional person like that.
迷わなかったといえば嘘になるから。
She words, too many S's. She smiles sheepishly. Seashells by the seashore. Like she's admitting to some kind of childish prank. You have a thing for older guys or something? And the one who resembles Santa Claus at that.
違うわよ。そういう意味じゃなくて。
Seeing my agitation, she pauses to take a sip of coffee. Coffee before she resumes talking. She sets the cup back down with a sigh, the timing off enough that she can't blame it on the coffee.
この際、相手がどこまで本気なのかは問題じゃないのよね。
Just looking for a convenient out.
世界的に有名な映画監督が相手だったら、休校を受けたという事実だけで十分話題になるし、注目を集めることができれば、まだ歌手を続けられるんじゃないかって。
You know, really force the spotlight on you.
そんなことを一瞬でも考えてしまった自分がつくづく嫌になった。だからすぐにでも指輪を手放したくて。
Cool.
ごめんなさい。
That's fine. Really. Besides, it's all over and done with. She's being incredibly forthcoming and honest. I guess that's how annoyed she is about it. You ended up returning the ring, right? That way you won't have to worry about it.
尾形里奈ならきっと迷わなかったわ。
I'm sure she would just ask AG to deal with it and go about her day. Perhaps surprised at her own hushed statement, she giggles in response.
周りからも言われたわ。玉残しだって。それが冗談だということは分かってる。
Still stings. It's a kind of a backhanded compliment.
でもこれが尾形里奈だったら冗談でもそんなこと言ったかしら。私はみんなに思われてるのよ。歌手を続けていける。
You know, just gotta smooth off the rough edges, and it'll be fine. You can kind of go into like folk singing, you know, where that rough style has a market. That's not. But she silently cuts me off before I can finish.
悔しいのはそれを自分でも半ば認めてるってこと。
Sayoko.
何も言わなくていいわ。励まされて そうなるものでもないし。
She folds her arms on the table before resting her head on them. Well, she's clearly depressed, but I can tell she's feeling comfortable being honest with me. Especially since she brushed me off at first, the first time I asked about it. Took roughly 2 months, but I was finally able to get the truth out of her. I found myself smiling thinking about it.
何よ、笑うことないでしょ。そもそも自分から話を振っておいて。
You finally tell me what happened.
別にじらしてたわけじゃないけど。
You do have a tendency to bottle everything up inside of you.
そうでもないと思うけど。
You must have a lot on your mind, huh? Turning this into a little shrink's office. You want to lie down on like the weird couch they have. She frowns at me in response. Oh, I can tell she's not upset.
まあ、最近なんだかね。
I've tried prune juice. I'll really get the tension out of you. Have you been depressed? She does a nod, but she doesn't necessarily say no either. Oh, that's like me. Like, it's like, are you feeling, whenever I go to like the doctor's office, like, are you feeling, depression and suicidal tendencies? And it's like, I mean, I haven't put the gun in my mouth yet, so I'm gonna check no. It doesn't count if you just think about it.
急に周りから人がいなくなったというか。
The people you know from the industry?
いろいろよ、いろいろ。
She says before heaving a deep sigh.
桜目を出てから元のメンバーが妙によそよそしく。
Yeah, that's unfortunately how it goes. Sometimes, you're just friends of convenience, and when you no longer work together, it's like, well, we don't really have anything else, binding us together. It's like, yeah, we're on, quote unquote good terms, but not really gonna hang out with you outside of work-related matters. Kind of just, unfortunately, the adult work environment, where it's like, yeah, we'll fucking crush cornhole and drink beers, at a work function, a barbecue or something. But odds are I'm not gonna go hang out with you on my days off. It's nothing personal. Like, I like you, but we're not friends like that. You mean they're avoiding you?
向こうが変だからこっちが気を利かせてるの。
But then they're like, oh, she wants her space, so let's give her some space. And now you're just like two negative ends of a magnet pointing at each other, just bumping off, like, away from each other. I can tell from the sound of her sigh that she's not lying or saying so out of pride.
プロフィールでもね、以前は尊敬する人に私を挙げてる後輩が多かったんだけど、今はそんなの一人もいないし。
Well, if you're not in the group, they can't really admire you.
別にそれを真に受けていたわけじゃないけど。
Hold on, I'm reaching for my coffee pot. Keep going, Sayoko.
こうも手のひらを返されるとね、まるで最初からいなかったみたいな。
Yeah, it can't be the new hotness forever. The next sigh is longer than the last one.
私もあまりいいリーダーではなかったけどね。
Yeah, it seems like you just kind of got the role out of seniority.
でも仕方ないじゃないの。何かの権限があるわけでもないし。
The production company was probably hoping that you'd grow into it, Unfortunately, or, well, maybe not unfortunately, but that's just how it works sometimes.
嫌がらせとか妊娠とかそんなことまで面倒見きれないわよ。
Ooh. She looks like she's about to slam her fist into the table, but lets it fall to her side instead. She's left in the same listless state as before.
ファンもごっそりと抜けていったわ。別に桜目の人気が全部自分のおかげだなんて思ってなかったけどさ。
I get where you're coming from. You just would have thought, more of them would have liked you for you, but now that you're on your own, they're nowhere to be seen.
もうちょっと。
Her words trail off as she hesitates. It's hard for her to talk about this, even with the courage from her complaints.
結局何もかも桜子クラブからの借り物だったのね。私自身が求められているわけじゃない。必要とされているのは桜子クラブの如月小夜子だったわけで。
I guess, in a sense, it's unavoidable. Anytime you do a job, that's always how it is.
そうね。仕事をしていると自分の価値ってやつの無意
Yeah,
味さ
people
を
are
思い
very
知らされ
rarely
るわ
irreplaceable. Like, you may not be exact gears that can be swapped out perfectly, but they can find one that's close enough and does the same job, if a little different. You know, the size of the teeth on the gears maybe a little larger, smaller, the gaps maybe wider, but you know, it still turns. The machine still works if they get swapped out.
スタジオに呼ばれるのだってそう。単に若い女という役柄が必要なだけ。タレントに目新しさがなくなったらもうどうせよ。
Then you do the variety show circuit, which you're kind of already on. You mean on the talk shows?
歌もそうよ。
I guess so.
そうなのよ。
She sounds firm in her assertion, but there's something in her voice that makes me think she wants to disagree.
みんなが仲良く1位を取れるよう微妙に発売時期をずらしてある。
Ah,
大手の間で
they don't want
時々話が
infighting.
ついてるのよ。
what? Really do that?
そうよ。
Even with artists like Rino Ogata?
彼女は
She can stand on her own, so they need to work around her. She's like a force of nature. It's like seeing a monsoon, you know, approaching on the radar. You gotta be like, oh, time to hunker down, wait for this to blow by, and then we can put our shit out. She suddenly falls silent, looking lost.
彼女のことは嫌ってるわけじゃないのよ。だってそういう業界の出来レースに真っ向から立ち向かってるんだから、個人的には応援したいくらいだわ。自分と同じ土俵に上がってるんじゃなければね。
Got me aboard right now, Rina. Just until I'm not Rina, Sayoko. At least until you start complaining about like the Rothschilds or something, then you're gonna start losing me. Like they're the ones who control the music industry. They're the source of my problems. It's them, those people. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Sayoko? The definition of a dilemma. When you're both singers, you have to do what you can to get ahead.
嫌ってるわけじゃないのよ。
I get it, really. The conflict Sayoko has with Rina and Yuki is comprised of many components. It's more than just her lack of ability. There's also her dissatisfaction with the entertainment industry as a whole and her personal aspirations. Though, if you were to ask me, I don't think there's a need for her to be so pessimistic. You're not a loser, Sayoko.
勝手に人のこと捨てないでよ。
She seems to have forgotten. The notion of first place or nothing is simply not true. Besides, even Rina isn't everyone's number one idol. In fact, Sayoko has some... I know you still have fans, Sayoko. That's why you're still here.
そんなの
Yeah, you still get bookings, you still sell CDs.
もっと私も頑張って
You are
コメントも
on,
読めるように
you
し
know,
なくちゃ。
they are recording your sales, which is more than they can say for many people. That's spirit. Wait, hold on. She can't read what now? Tell me you can't read sheet music?
まあね。
It's really easy. I can teach you in an afternoon. You don't seem to be bothered by it. Are there, like, classes you could take?
そりゃあんまり得意な方じゃない。
But some people are like that. You hear it all the time, you know, like famous musicians, especially in, like, bands and stuff. They'd be like, oh, yeah, I can't read sheet music. I just do everything by ear and feel. Or they just, like, write out the chord names. And it's like, if it works for them, whatever. This isn't a matter of being good or not. Back up. Is there anything in your life you put effort into?
してるわよ。髪の手入れに肌のケア、爪磨きも入念にしてるわ。
Though, to be fair, I can't read bass clefs. I can only read treble clefs. Is that what they're called? You know, the B-flat instruments like a trumpet? Yeah, they're on trebles. And, like, tubas are on bass. You see it on piano. The one on the top is the treble and the one on the bottom is the bass clef. I'm pretty sure. It's literally been over a decade since I've had to look at sheet music seriously. Girl, you're starting to worry me.
何よ。自分を磨くのだって努力のうちでしょ。
Are you gonna go be a hand model? This is what she takes the most pride in? What on earth have you been doing with your time?
好きな音楽を聴いたり、ウィンドウショッピングとか、あと寝たり。
Girls like sleeping a lot, huh?
なんでそこだけ取り上げるの？
This girl, I swear to God. So, was college just another way to escape reality?
失礼ね。受験は友達作りのためよ。
I mean, it kind of worked. True.
うさんくさい顔してるわ。
Fine.
友達作りの立派な理由よ。損得抜きの関係なんてね。社会に出てからだと。
Honestly, I can't knock you for that. Good job. Thumbs up. You actually got a real friend from it. Just someone who, you know, is gonna cheat on his girlfriend for you, which is... says something about his character. I don't know what it says, but it's something. Her sigh curls lazily up into the air.
高校を中退してから今まで必死にやってきたけど、
Do you even have like a GED?
ふと自分は一生に一度しかない学
Or
生
do
時
you
代を
need one to
今
take
まさ
college
に
exams?
通り過ぎようと
Does
し
it
てる
just
んじゃないかって
go off if you score good enough?
そうしたらなんだか急に
I'm sorry,
怖
score
くなって
well enough. Superman does good, you do well. Scared? Not depressed?
怖くよ。取り返しがつかなくなるのは
Yep.
みんな怖いことなのよ。
Hard to make choices. To be honest, I don't fully understand or agree with how she feels. I'm surrounded by people like Akira, Haruka, Misaki, and Yuki. Can't even begin to imagine life without them.
今になって思い知らされたのよ。アイドルを辞めた自分が
Yep.
一人だってことに。
She looks out the window. Her gaze is distant and unfocused.
誰しも夢を見るわ。私もみんなに夢を与えてるつもりだった。それが自分の夢だと思ってた。
And you do that by getting them to buy CDs? I guess inspire people's a better way to put it.
でもその役目は私じゃなくてもよかったのよ。それに気づいたとき
Fulfill my dream of buying a Sayoko t-shirt at a concert hall. Wow. My life is fulfilled. I can die happy now.
誰よりも早く生きていたつもりでずっと足踏みしてたのかな。
Yep. She seems trapped between the past she threw away and the future fraught with uncertainty. Get home safe, okay?
失礼ね。子供じゃないんだから。
Can't you get someone to drive you home, like from your agency?
うちはどのタレントにもそうなのよ。移動はみんな電車か自腹のタクシーね。
Yuki has a driver. Oh, I see. I thought there was another reason.
ケチとかいう問題じゃないわ。
She knew what I'd been hesitant to say out loud.
私生活が野放しになるからスキャンダルにさらされやすくもなる。結局は会社の損害になるのに。
Or you could just get a car. That's like bending down to pick up a penny and dropping your wallet in the process. From an outside perspective, it seems like a stupid move. But for a big company, all that really matters is them saving a few bucks.
ほら、もうこんな時間。また話し込むところだったわ。
We've been standing around here longer than I realized. Maybe because of how much better I felt after apologizing about the Christmas Eve incident.
それじゃ何よ、ジロジロ見て。
I'm just really happy I got to see you today.
私も楽しかったわ。
I can tell. I don't want to leave, but I feel bad for keeping her here. Sayoko says goodbye first, making everything 10 times easier. I'll see you around.
また。
We both turn in opposite directions as we head in the direction of our respective homes. We haven't gone far before. Whoa, what now?
危うく忘れるところだったわ。
Sayoko? What's the matter? She scribbles something down in a notebook before ripping off the page and handing it to me. Her phone number, doofus.
連絡先だから。
I look down to see her cell phone number written on the piece of paper.
勘違いしないで。もう待ちぼうけはごめんなだけよ。
Oh, great. Thanks. Whatever excuse she gives, I'm just glad my ties to Sayoko are stronger now. I tuck the paper carefully in my wallet so as not to lose it.
要はそれだけだから。それじゃ。
And with that not so subtle excuse to see me again, she hurries off. I hear her footsteps racing off into the distance. I stand there until she vanishes completely into the crowd. Alright, time to stay at home for an entire week and do nothing. I completely forget when the get sick and pass out and hit your head event is. Hopefully we get something more than a phone call that we've gotten the past couple times. Like, wasn't Rena's, like, Nurse You Back to Health event, it was literally like a phone call, like, hey, hope you're doing good. Have fun. Bye, I'm at work. And I completely forget what Yuki's was. It was that bland and unmemorable. Something similar. Because they're both in their training arcs right now, you know, being able to learn how to do, like, chi blasts. Mana? Who's Mana? Never heard of her. Secrets of Mana? Legend of Mana? Which one of those? There's a lot of Mana games. Now, maybe if we were playing those, you know, I'd go do it. I say, having never played a single one of them in my entire life. They were just NES games, I'm pretty sure, and I never had an NES. Or SNES games. I'm pretty sure they were SNES, now that I think about it. Working as an AD, head over TV station. Whew, recording's finally over. Thanks to a variety of factors making things take longer than expected, it's already dusk. But since we usually have two sessions in one day, we're only half done. It'll probably be close to midnight by the time we wrap up. Not just the time, but also the thought of having to do the same exact thing all over again is depressing.
まったくだわ。
Second time, it should go quicker because you got all the kinks worked out. Huh? Did I say something?
いいえ。でもそんな顔してたわ。
You managed to hit the nail on the head. I find myself somewhat shocked.
あなたたちはまだいいわ。大道具とか使い回せる部分もあるでしょ。
Hey, you don't gotta reset everything.
こっちはまるっきりもう一回よ。
You're right.
最初はまたフレッシュな顔しなくちゃいけないし。
Yeah, go get your makeup did, your hair done. You're probably changed into an entire new outfit. That's the second session, but it goes at the start of the show. The audience is not privy to behind-the-scenes info. And they'll inevitably complain if the performers look tired, despite it being the third or fourth take. Seems obvious, but work is hard, no matter what it is. Get out there with the freshest face you got and slay him, Sayoko. Yas, girl, slay. Think fresh. Embody it.
そう？
Yes, perfect. You're the spokesperson of Fresh.
そうかしら。
The Fresh Queen.
バカなことさせないでよ。
I'm gonna assume he's like bobbing and weaving around with like his fingers in like a little square, like his little camera aperture. You know, taking photos like, yes, yes, slay, girl. Like that. That's how I'm gonna imagine how this interaction went in my head. Sayoko is surprisingly committed to putting on a good show. Maybe because of her stint in Sakura Meow. But why not take a break in the green room? There's not a lot of space on set.
控室に戻ったらそのまま寝ちゃいそう。
Maybe it's for the best.
中途半端に寝ると起きるのが辛いのよ。
I'll come out and start recording with drool on your face and like one side of your head, your hair's all sticking up because you were asleep on it. She says that as if she's great at waking up otherwise.
本番が始まるまでここに座らせてもらうわ。
Now I get it. I can't do micro naps. Like, if I fall asleep, I'm going to be asleep for hours. By right here, she means behind the backdrop. She sits down in a good spot before leaning back against one of the support beams. She then closes her eyes. Moments later, she's breathing peacefully, similar to the sound of soft snores. She falls asleep. She said it's hard for her to wake up from a nap. And yet, here she is. Now that I get a look, I realize how revealing her outfit is. She's completely exposed from her neck below the from her neck to her shoulders. Doesn't seem that weird on stage, but from this close up, it's alluring and it's a difference from her usual appearance. Then there's her defenseless posture, sound asleep. The way she's slumped to the side only makes her look more alluring. It's not something I'm usually aware of, but for some reason, I'm strangely turned on. I find my eyes drawn to the exposed skin of her chest. No, her breasts, not chest. Be honest with yourself. You're interested in her breast. I know it's a bad idea, yet I can't look away from her ample bosom. And, with no one around to catch me, I feel my resolve quickly wavering more than it would otherwise. Not like I was resisting to begin with. I stare intently, like I'm trying to burn them into my memory. Never noticed how big her breasts were before. I did. They're fucking huge in comparison to, at least, Yuki and Rina. They're really quite something. Seeing her like this is quickly driving me crazy. Oh god. I'm sorry. I thought you were asleep.
何よ、目を閉じてただけよ。
No, wait. I'm sorry. She shrinks back, crossing her arms in front of her chest.
何、人のことジロジロ見てたの？
Sorry. I immediately regret everything. I can't believe I did something like that. Just because I thought no one was watching. What's wrong with me? We already know you're not a man of strong morals, guy. Like, you don't gotta hide it from anyone. Sayoko being the one to catch me only makes me feel more ashamed. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. So ashamed that I start speaking super politely. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't look away. Tell her the truth. Yet, despite my feelings of remorse, the sight of her soft breast lingers in the back of my mind, continuing to tease me. My guilty conscience prevents me from looking her in the eyes.
どんな風に見てたの？
With lust. What do you mean? Like a slathering beast. Is that what you want to hear? Did you want a diagram or something? I was like drawn in? Like this, I guess? Wait, no, I wasn't actually bending over like that to get a closer look. You know, metaphorically. She glances at me suspiciously before looking down at her own chest.
この衣装、そんなに派手かしら？
Yeah, and it's great. Huh? No, of course not. I think it looks amazing on stage. I mean it. But backstage, out of the limelight, it's so extraordinary that it's hard not to look. She compares her outfits and immediately becomes mortified, readjusting her position. Like,
自分だけ
it's full on side boob too. Like that's where the real appeal is. I mean, I'm part of the crew, and so is everyone else.
プライバシーを知ってる相手は別よ。
I guess she has a point. Having your ordinary friend intrude on your extraordinary life would be pretty embarrassing.
本当はこういう露出の多い衣装ってあまり好きじゃないんだけど。
Oh yeah?
胸が大きくなりだしたのって本当に最近だから。
Yeah, but it's like, it's a charm point. Gotta sell those CDs somehow. Because girl, your music ain't what's selling them. I can feel myself salivating. I try to swallow it as inconspicuously as possible.
事務所もこんな衣装を着せるくらいだったらもっとちゃんとした曲と詞をつけてほしいわ。そうじゃないと大型プロになんて対抗できるはずないんだから。
You kind of shit out of luck there. You know, maybe we can put in some words and have you like sidestep into Ogata Productions instead. You know, just change agencies. She seems dissatisfied with her own current repertoire.
見くびられてるのかしら。いい作曲家と作詞家を揃えても大してヒットしないって。
Not a good question. Maybe your agency just doesn't know what's good.
だと思うんだけど。
Sayoko seems back to her usual self. And she seems to have moved on from the incident that started this conversation. The second session should be starting soon. It's gonna be a late night by the time we finish,
そうね。
she says, sighing wearily. What's wrong? Did something bad happen?
そうね。人の体をいやらしい目で見る人がいるから。
Just think of it as a compliment, yeah? Sorry. I'm really sorry. I promise not to look at you ever again.
別にそこまでは言ってない。
You can look, just a little, with consent. You see, the issue was you weren't looking respectfully, she says, immediately backpedaling.
別に全面的に見るなってことじゃないんだから。
What? Am I just supposed to be more discreet about it? What are you saying?
私だってただ見られたくらいで騒いだりしないわ。
Yeah? My eyes are drawn to two places in particular. Her face and her eyes.
だからそういうのじゃなくて。
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
だからたまたま視線が横切ったとか、とにかく見る側が清い気持ちだったら目くじら立てたりしないってこと？
Yeah, don't be like boring a hole fucking straight through her chest to her back. Pure mind.
この眼差しは多分清くない。
Hey, he was an air gate protagonist, you can't blame him. I'm not sure how long is too long. Like 3 seconds maybe? No, it's like a flash. You gotta look and then immediately look away.
長い。
You gotta like try to fill in the gaps in your brain with like the blurry image you saw.
まだ長いわね。12345 0.7秒くらいかしら。
It's like you're trying to like reconstruct a photo of a cryptid from like one crusty blurry frame. How about we drop it?
そうね。
What's wrong now? What's with the sigh?
いろいろとね。
Your gaze shifts in the direction of the stage. No one said anything to you?
アイドルといっても芸能界では下っ端だから。
Yep. She shrugs her she shrugs her shoulders, not bringing up any specific examples. Her indifferent attitude is evidence of how reluctant she is to accept help from others. Sounds rough.
傷つけても構わないと思われるのには慣れてる。そうね。桜目の時は本当に10羽人からげだったから。
That's life, baby.
でも平気で騙したり。
Yeah, you're just some like dumb broad.
ね。虫けらは傷つかないとか思われるのが。
Yep.
さすがに辛いわ。
I mean, from that perspective, you know, not to badmouth you, but you're like a mid to low level idol, completely interchangeable with anyone else. From their perspective, you're not. You're a product. I really doubt there's anyone out there who sees you like that.
いるわよ。
The accountants.
本人の前で言ったりもするわ。
That too.
そんなものよ。
To them, you're all just numbers.
本当どうしようもないわ。
She sounds completely unfazed by it, but I see her blink rapidly for a few seconds.
嘘なんてこの世からなくなればいいのに。
I'm sure she wanted to say something completely different from that immature sounding wish. But I'm just an AD, and if I try digging deeper into her psyche, I'll probably only end up aggravating a clearly raw wound. I'll make sure to keep an eye on her during the session. If she can simply accept the situation she's in, then I guess I can too.
はい、締めっぽい話はおしまい。出番までにテンション
Yep, get
上げとかない
hyped.
とね。
Just do a line real quick, you know, or really get yourself pumped up. Do your best so we can finish this as quickly as possible.
あら？
Her gaze seems to stop on my chest. What's up?
うん。
She's silent. She looks like she's thinking about something. What, has he actually got like some pecs? What do you mean, wait? What are you doing?
いいから。
I mean, I guess he does do like a heavy lifting job. He might have like some decent musculature. You have to be out there like now.
いいからいいから。
And she takes off. What the heck just happened? I thought she didn't want to go back to her green room. And now she's telling me to wait here? What the hell?
どうやく
Oh, Yuki? Don't tell me you're the next guest.
私は隣のスタジオ
Oh, how convenient that you happened to show up just when Sayoko ran out. A little too convenient. Have we ever seen Yuki and Sayoko in the same room? Just some food for thought. And yes, we have. They have been literally sitting next to each other. She was literally in the cafe while, Sayoko was hiding under the table. Hang on. Yuki's the one who wouldn't know. How'd you know I was here? She shakes her head while looking pleased for some reason.
期待しないで覗いてみたらどうやくんがいたのもうびっくりし
She
ちゃ
caught
っ
a
た
whiff of your pheromones.
こういうのなんだか嬉しい
Her eyes sparkle with delight as she smiles at me.
これで少しくらい幸運が減ってもいいかなって思う
I know, right? I wish I could have more moments like this one. Though I'd never be able to tell her that. You could. You could literally say that directly to her face right here. Be like super romantic. But you're too much of a fucking wuss. Are you all done?
この後すぐにレッスンだけどどうやくんは
I still have a ways to go. I'm working late tonight. Yuki?
どうやくんボタンが取れそうになってる
Huh? What? Where?
ここちょっと待ってて縫い針取ってくる
Whoops. I'm sure this won't go bad whatsoever. Too late. She's already gone. I could do it myself, honestly. Yeah, it's a button. Even I can sew a button. But it's been so long since she's done something like this for me. I can't help but smile thinking about it.
お待たせ
Wow. How did it make it to the green room and back so quickly?
携帯用のスイングセットだったらいつも弥生さんが持ち歩いてる
Oh, she's a real professional. Good for her. Really? I didn't know.
衣装に何かあった時にはその場で対応できるように
That's on brand for Yayoi to be prepared for anything. You don't think she put poison on the needle when she heard what it was going to be used for, right? Hang on. I can take my shirt off.
そのままでいいよすぐに済ませるから
Yeah? Okay, then. Whoops. Yeah. Like that fucking hussy coming to steal my only friend. When it's really the other way around. She just doesn't know it. Whew, we're finally done recording. After all that, it's tomorrow morning. I'm gonna miss the last train if I don't hurry. Oh, but before I go, I should at least say goodbye to Sayoko. She's not answering. Is she not there? Sayoko? I call through the green room door, but there's no answer. Did she go home already? But if she's still around, I can't leave her alone by herself at this hour. As I stand in the hall, unsure what to do, I try turning the knob. There she is. She's slumped in the folding chair, propped up against the door, still wearing her stage outfit. Nice work today, Sayoko. No answer. She has her head curled into a fist on her knee. Her hand curled into a fist on her knees, and her back is stiff as a board. Is she angry? About what? I don't know, man. She's just a woman. She's mad about something. Doesn't matter what. She just wants to be mad. I ran out of breath there. Wants to be mad. The second half of the session seemed to go well. No way I can leave after seeing her in this state. Sayoko? She's still not answering me.
嘘つき
Soft murmurs, the only sound in the deathly silent green room. What? Ooh, dramatic music.
彼女いるじゃないの
I gulp nervously. Or rather, I make the mistake of gulping. As good as an admission of guilt. Look, the thing is... I stand there stammering. She jumps to her feet and storms out of the room. finally snap to my senses as she slams the door in my face. I have to go after her. I hurriedly race from the room. Thankfully, due to the station's particularly long hallways, I spot her right away. There's no way we can continue this conversation in this hall. After some back and forth, we leave the station behind. Sayoko. Before I get in talking, I throw my coat over her shoulders.
やめてよ。
Instead of turning my offer down, she clings to it. She doesn't make any other move to brush me aside, perhaps noticing how cold it is out here. But her posture is just as stiff as before.
近寄らないで。
She pushes me back before walking ahead. She's heading in the direction of the station. Taking the train home?
そうよ。マネージャーが車で送り迎えしてくれる人はいいわね。
No doubt she's talking about Yuki.
私のこと笑ってたのね。森川由紀のこと話してる間、心の中でずっと。
I mean, no. Realistically, he was more just like internally panicking, like, fuck, how do I hide this? Ah! What if I say something she finds out? Ah! Never did anything like that. I continue as I get a few steps closer. Listen, I've known Yuki since high school. She immediately plugs up her ears.
嫌よ、聞きたくない。
She starts walking faster, increasing the distance between us even more.
アイドルが
I was said damage, so I'm thinking emotional damage.
友達だからってあるわけないでしょ。
Sayoko, that's not.
そんなのあるわけない。好きじゃなかったら。
I find myself at a loss for words. I suddenly forget exactly what I was trying to say to begin with. Sayoko, I was never trying to lie to you. Wait, listen to me.
もういい。やめて。
Just let me explain.
急いでるの。終電がもう出るの。
Can I ride it wearing that?
そうよ。悪い。
She starts jogging, trying to shake me off her tail. I break into a full sprint, attempting to cut her off before she reaches the station. Hey, she's wearing heels. You should be able to catch up to her fairly easily.
どういうつもり？
Oh, she's even got a unique sprite for wearing his like stadium jacket like that. I want you to listen to me,
ど
Sayoko.
うしなさいよ。
No, I'm not moving until you listen to me. We exchange heated glares. Sayoko is the first to look away.
いいわ。あなたはずっとそこにいなさい。
Hey, can I at least have my coat back? She turns around, walking towards the train tracks. Looks like she's going to cross them in order to get to the ticket gate on the other side. Follow her? Yeah, duh. If I lose sight of her now, I have a feeling I'll never see her again. And even if she does show up at the campus cafe, she'll have moved on emotionally. My legs start moving before I know what's happening. I start walking after her. We walk along in silence, side by side. The crosswalk over the tracks is always just out of reach.
ついてこないでよ。
She mutters without turning around. I keep pace with her steps. What did it say, out of reach? Oh, go down. Where is it? Yeah, she'll move. Over the tracks is always just out of reach. Crosswalk over the tracks is always just out of reach. What does it mean? Like it's too far away? Like, what? I thought I read it wrong, but no, I read it correctly. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because my brain doesn't work good. I keep pace with her steps.
また電車に乗せないつもり？
At least until you hear me out.
大声あげるわよ。
I don't care. Go ahead and try. She falls silent. There's no way she could do that, because she's an idol. Seems like she still has some sense left. Sayoko,
聞きたくない。
But my words are the only thing she continues to stubbornly refuse to hear.
信じられない。
By the the time we finally cross the tracks and make it to the other ticket gate, the last train has already left.
いいわ。タクシーで帰るから。
She returns to the side of the road, waving to the nearest set of headlights.
ここよ、タクシー。ちょっと無視しないでよ。もう。
The last train of the night gone, all the available taxis are already taken. And on the rare occasion an empty one appears, it passes by her, the driver looking for men in business suits who probably live a good distance away. She finally gives up, her hand falling to her side.
みっともないからありゃしないわ。
Just treat it like it's the 80s and like wave a wad of like hundreds at them. Well, I suppose it's Japan, so they'd be like $10,000 bills. She groans before turning around and stalking off. Where are you going?
歩いて帰る？
In those heels? I'm gonna assume she was wearing heels. I'll go with you.
いいわよ、一人で。
There's no way I'm letting you walk back alone. Keeping her in sight, I walk after her. She passes under a lamppost. As I follow along a few steps behind, her figure seems to flicker in the darkness. We don't go far before she suddenly comes to a stop. Sayoko? She suddenly takes off at full speed. I'm temporarily flabbergasted by her immature actions. I told her that the streets are dangerous at night. Cursing under my breath, I hurry to follow her, picking up my pace. Yeah, running in heels is hard, huh? She's bent over at the waist, struggling to breathe, her hands planted on her knees. Despite her claims about having a lot of stamina thanks to singing and dancing, I was somehow able to keep up. She forces the word out between gasps for air as she struggles to catch her breath.
そんな必死に追いかけてくるのよ。
Because my house keys are in my coat pocket. If you don't give them back, I'm homeless. I find it pretty hilarious myself. Why am I so desperate? And to an almost pathetic degree, keep following her in the face of abject rejection. Even if I don't understand it enough to say even one word in my defense. But there's one thing I do know. I hate saying goodbye. Her mouth clamps shut and she continues walking while struggling to calm her heavy breathing.
あんたなんか、あいつに全然ふさわしくないわ。
In all honesty, you're right. He doesn't. He fucking sucks. He does not deserve someone as good as Yuki. Yeah, okay. It's really stonewalled me there. I have no response. She screams out at the deserted nighttime streets, like she wants the whole world to hear.
あいつはキラキラしたステージでそれに負けないくらい輝いてるのよ。あんたと釣り合うはずないじゃない。
I can't really argue with that. Because her sentiment isn't far off my own feelings on the matter.
私だったら、
Yeah.
私なら出来損ない同士
Ouch.
お似合いなのにね。
Words are sharp as knives, but your voice is as shaky as a boat in rough waters. Are you crying, Sayoko?
泣いてなんか。
Yeah, just ignore, what she said right there and be like, wow, your delivery there was kind of off. You good, girl? There's a handkerchief in the front pocket of my jacket. Feel free to use it. Is it at least like a clean handkerchief, or is it like a work one where it's covered in like grease and like, strange residues? She pulls the handkerchief out wordlessly. She uses it to wipe her eyes and then she proceeds to blow her nose with it, despite there also being some tissues in the pocket. She's as stubborn as ever. I suddenly feel utterly helpless. A sense of futility washes over me like a wave. It's gonna take everything I have just to make sure she gets home safe. Sayoko, the next time we meet. The next thing I know, she's crouched down in the middle of the sidewalk.
どうやくまで私を傷つけるなんて。
Yeah, why do you have to bring up next time? Like, just twist the knife even more. Just like say that you fucking hate me and you never want to see me again. And make it easy, but no.
そんなの絶対に嫌。
She rests her forehead against her knees, trembling. The air feels heavy, filled with the evening dew.
なんで私に優しくしたのよ。こんなの最初から。
She continues sobbing quietly. If I'd known this would happen, I would have come clean sooner. Even had several chances to. But I was so scared of what might happen if her colleagues found out about our relationship that I never took them. And it backfired spectacularly. I'm sorry. I just couldn't bring myself to tell you. You went out of your way to avoid her. And I thought if you knew I was her boyfriend, you'd start avoiding me as well. We'd grown so close at that point. It broke my heart to even think that might happen. Sounds like your cry is quieted down.
私のこと笑ってたの。友達だって言ったのに。
I never looked down on you or laughed at you behind your back. I would never do that. Because... Will she hear me? Or will my words be swept away in the night breeze? Will it be enough to take away her pain?
そうね。
Yeah,
友達だから。
nothing but a good set of friends, old pals, you and I. Unlike before, her mumbled words sound more stable. She stands up and turns to face me, a forced smile on her face.
ごめんなさい。取り乱しちゃって。
As to be expected.
トウヤくんは嘘ついてたわけじゃないのに。
She finally looks me in the eyes. But that smile leaves me feeling anxious. Is this horrible night over yet? Or will it continue to haunt us, forcing us to relive the events as they've occurred, as if they've currently unfolded?
これからも友達でいてくれる？
Yeah, draw that firm line. Yes, of course.
ありがとう。
Shortly after, we're finally able to hail a cab from the stream of cars driving by.
それじゃあ明日からはいつも通りでお願いね。
I declined to ride with her, wanting to walk instead. I find myself tempted to chase after the cab as it drives off. Despite having cleared up the misunderstanding and made up, I found myself feeling heartbroken as I watched the taillights of the taxi fade into the distance. Why would you feel heartbroken, bud? You know, you made up with your friend and you cleared up that you're just friends. Nothing to feel bad about, right? In fact, you should feel happy about it. I wonder why you feel that way. Sports arena. Some reason Sayoko's there. Want to go out? Head downtown.
はい、トウヤくん。
Huh? Oh, Sayoko. Crazy that we last saw each other like, what, probably didn't leave each other till like 2, 3 in the morning. It's the middle of the afternoon. It's been 12 hours since our dramatic parting. Like, hey, what's up? Take advantage of chat with her. Oh yeah, let's talk romance after that fucking shit show that just happened. Hypothetically speaking, if you had a boyfriend.
例えばなんて失礼ね。私だってその気になったら彼氏の10人や20人。
I'm sure you don't need that many. But let's say you had a boyfriend. What would you want to do with him?
何よ。それを聞いてどうしようっていうの？
No reason in particular. Just as a guy, I was just curious.
何かいやらしい。そ、
Yeah?
いやらしい。
It was just a question. It's not that serious. I guess what I mean is, are there any scenes from a movie or TV show you want to experience?
そうね。
She averts her eyes as she thinks over it.
まずは寄り添わせてもらうかな。
Oh, good thing she didn't. She's like, you know, have you ever played this game called Black Bible? Or is it Bible Black? I honestly can't remember. It's been fucking ages since I've last watched the OVA. But like since I was probably like 14, I was way too young to watch like fucking Black Bible. I'm not even sure if I can recommend it. It is a visual novel, one that I will never do a series on for obvious reasons, but
何をするかはそれから考えるわ。
you want to be big spoon or little spoon? Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. Home. We're staying home. We're not going anywhere. Staying home a couple times. Until the 15th at least, because there's an event at the TV station. Come on, let's get the ball rolling. 14th, nothing. We don't go to the TV station now. Yuki's there. We're trying to avoid her. That way we don't feel bad about, like, being emotionally dependent on another woman. Oh, what? TV station? Oh, sorry, Yuki. Walk by echoes as you, like, look forlornly into a coffee cup there as we see you in the window. And then we just ignore you to go hang out with Sayoko instead. Working as an AD at over TV station. Studio's bubbling with more youthful energy than ever before today. Understandable. Today's recording session includes all of Sakura Meow members, past and present. Naturally, that includes Sayoko. She stands out quite a bit, even amongst girls her own age. Strange, considering she always seems to blend in with the crowd when she's out and about. It's almost like her stage persona turns her into someone else entirely. They're finally about to begin the rehearsal run-through. However, something's off. The past and present members are all gathered together, and there's a somewhat foreboding energy in the air. Is there trouble brewing?
何言ってるの？今の子たちを真ん中にしないとダメでしょ？
Ah. Fucking posturing about, like, position and power. Gotcha. I guess they're arguing about stage positions. Sayoko seems to solve the problem, more or less. Looking at it objectively, Sayoko's opinion makes the most sense. But there's always going to be someone who disagrees with the contrary. Yeah, probably some people are like, the original members should be front and center. It's times like this you need someone to step up and take charge of things. Take charge or things will never get resolved. Still, when you've got a room full of pre-existing relationships and power dynamics, it's difficult for anyone to just stand up and lay down the law. It only makes Sayoko's piercing voice and pushy demeanor all the more invaluable. She's more than willing to take a firm stand, even if the result doesn't benefit her directly. It's abundantly clear why they made her the leader.
お面ライダーだって先輩ほど端に立つじゃないの。
Ah. Her analogy's a little odd, though. Oh yeah, I still need to do my recording of the Kamen Rider series. I got it, you know, the 1971 series on my hard drive that I, you know, legally acquired, of course. That I plan on doing a reaction to, just things have been so busy lately with work and school and, you know, potentially having to go to the other side of the planet for months on end that I just haven't been able to, you know, commit the time to it. But once the class I'm currently in is over, I'll probably start that once, you know, assignments slow down a bit and we will squeeze it in the evening. Thanks to Sayoko getting everything under control, we get through the recording without any problems. But even after the girls leave the studio, my job as an AD is far from over. Once I finish cleaning everything up, I head over to Saiko's green room. She really put herself out there in order to help out the younger members of the club. It's a little presumptuous of me to congratulate her just for doing her job, but I still feel like I should say something. Yeah, positive reinforcement. Though, I have no idea what that might be. I never imagined saying anything like this to her, so nothing's coming to mind.
どうぞ。
As I struggle internally, I hear her call me inside. It'd be weird to hang out in the hall, so I just go in for now.
東洋くん。
Her grim expression immediately turns into surprise.
待って。
She takes a half step back, bewildered. Huh? What's wrong?
ダンスの後で
Good.
汗臭いから。
It's better. Better that way. Au natural. Don't worry. I promise you don't. There's definitely a sweet scent in the air, but nothing to get upset about. All I want to do is fill my lungs with it. But I don't know if I did anything like that. but I don't know if I did anything like that. She'd immediately kick me out of the room. But I know. I read it as I don't know. I'm like, what? Why wouldn't you know? That's something obvious she would do. But no. I know if I do something like that, she'll immediately kick me out of the room.
本当に
She peers at me anxiously.
自分ではよくわからないから。
Sakura Meow songs have long dance parts. As a result, she's a lot sweatier than usual. Why'd you let me in to begin with? If she was concerned about her sweatiness, she could have turned me away at the door.
だってあの人たちが文句を言いに来たのかと思って。
Oh, another old member of the club being like, I don't appreciate how you're running our Sakura Meow in our absence. I know exactly who she's referring to without her needing to specify. She means the former members of Sakura Meow. Thinking back, her reply through the door sounded pretty strained. The girls she ended up yelling at during rehearsal weren't all younger than her. In fact, considering she only just graduated, most of them might have been older than she is. And yet, here she stands, pale-faced, waiting for them to come take their revenge. It's a far cry from her imposing an impressive attitude earlier.
何よ。
What do you mean, what?
顔が笑ってるわ。
No, I'm not.
どうせ私のこと口ばっかりとか思ってるんでしょ。
No, of course not. She can be a real slacker when she's by herself, but also surprisingly genuine. You really showed your leadership skills earlier. I was impressed.
そう？
She gives me an incredulous look, but quickly returns to her usual self. I'm glad that her feelings of self-doubt and pessimism rarely last long.
お仕事は終わったの？
And she's not smart enough to linger on thoughts. They're just out of her head too quickly. Yep. How about you?
どうせ暇ですよーだ。
A frown crosses her lips for a moment.
そっちもそうなんでしょ。森川由紀が彼女なんだしね。
Ain't that the truth? She's probably right. At some point, she began feeling comfortable enough to crack jokes like that.
誕生日がイブなんてなんだかずるい。
Yeah, not much you can do about it. I've heard that line over and over the whole time I've been tagging along on this shopping trip. I already explained what happened the other day. I never meant to hide it from you.
そうね。隠すつもりはなくても言うつもりもなかったんでしょ。
Yeah, live mission. Now give me a break.
どうせ森川由紀はこんなことじゃ怒ったりしないんでしょうね。
You're right. No, she wouldn't. She wasn't that angry when she found out that her boyfriend was fucking Rina. She just kind of got, like, upset and left. And at least she's finally saying her name correctly.
それで彼女とはいつから？
Like 2.5 years. I tell her we've been together since high school. And how Akira and Misaki are friends with her too.
そうなんだ。アイドルだから付き合ってるわけじゃない。
Yep. She says, a sad look in her eyes for some reason.
でもいい君だわ。そのせいで彼女ともろくに会えないんでしょ。
Though her words sound harsh, I don't detect any malice in her voice. It is what it is. Can't even remember the last time I got to go shopping with Yuki.
ごめんなさい。余計なことよね。私からこんなこと言うなんて。
Oh, stop it. Water under the bridge. She says apologetically, apparently having noticed the sadness I usually keep buried in the back of my mind now written on my face. Oh, don't worry about it. It's been this way for so long, I'm used to it. That's right. It's always been like this. Our honeymoon phase as a couple was heartbreakingly short. And the memories I have of us together are from so long ago that they sometimes don't feel real.
そうなんだ。それじゃあ
Almost like it's a withering plant sitting in the window that you've completely neglected to care for, and it's just wilted. What?
トウヤくんが一番聞きたいこと。トウヤくん愛してる。誰よりも。どう？
Yeah,
女優の
it's fantastic. It could have been better. She snorts dismissively before swiftly jumping back.
ついてこないでよね。
She then vanishes into the changing room. What exactly am I supposed to do here? I'm gonna wait for you in the cafe just outside, okay?
すぐに終わるから、そこで待ってて。
Sayoko? There's no answer. How long is not long? It's a woman changing, dude. She can be in there for 2 hours, for all you know. I have a feeling it's longer than she thinks. Get back in there. Use both hands to shove the bags into the corner of the booth. It's all packed with Sayoko's haul from the day. What are you gonna do if it rains? It's pretty cloudy today, so there's a good chance it'll start raining on the way back.
私、天気に関しては運がいいのよ。
That's... I don't think that's a thing. Yeah?
何よそれ、本当なんだから。
Before she can begin giving me examples, I hurriedly changed the subject. For how stingy you can be with money, you really go all out with your spring wardrobe. As far as I can tell, she hasn't even put away her winter stuff yet.
流行りを外したら大変だし。それに、次の冬も自分がそれを着たいと思ってるかわからないでし
Bitch,
ょ。
I am wearing clothes from high school. Shit I've had since I was 17. Over 10 years ago. It's fine. It's fine. Makes sense. Trends are constantly coming and going.
でも、手袋くらいはいいかな。そろそろ破れそうなのよ。
Gloves are good though. They can really tie an outfit together. I got a couple pairs of like nice, good like leather driving gloves I'll wear. With like I have like a button-up pea coat that I'll wear in the winter, or like a leather jacket. Really, really ties that outfit together, especially if you have like a good scarf. She says, taking out her mittens. Isn't it pretty inconvenient to have ones without fingers? And I'm sure they have gloves nowadays that stretch to fit the size of your hand.
分かってないわね。
What, she got like fucking giant hands, she needs gloves to stretch to fit them?
男の人ってさ、ミトンの手袋を口に当ててるところとか大好きでしょ？
You sure? I guess?
他にも、ハイヒールとかミニスカートとか。男って基本的に女の自由を奪うもの。
No, you like the high heels because it like flexes the muscles in the legs in a nice attractive way, and miniskirts so you can see more of the leg.
やらしい。
All I said was that seemed pretty inconvenient. Suddenly I'm representing all men in the entire world. She's messing with me even harder than usual today. Hey,
何？
I need your opinion on something. As an idol.
ようやく私をそういう風に扱う気に
Yeah,
なった
real professional. I'm not sure I ever didn't.
どうかしら。
This is going nowhere. Sometimes I wonder if I'm holding Yuki back. I mean, career-wise, of course. It's been my concern ever since her debut. Of course, I don't intend to do that, but I'd like to hear someone else's opinion.
でしょうね。
She says simply and decisively.
売り出し中のアイドルに彼氏なんて一つもいいことないものね。
Yeah?
アイドルって生ものみたいなものだから、どんなに実力があったって階段を一つ踏み外しただけで過去のものにされてしまう。
Don't fuck the band, otherwise, you know, you don't even get a season 3 of like one of the most popular anime of its decade. Because of fucking idol drama. Fucking director-in-chief never. Or editor-in-chief never. No Snowy Mountain Syndrome for us. No, just gotta read the light novels. No wonder you always seems to despise my very existence.
でもね、それがどうしたっていうのよ。
あ？
彼女にとって今が大切な時期なのはわかるけど、あなたたちにとってもそれは同じでしょ？
Well, I guess so. Well, she puts it like that. She has a point. Considering we started dating in high school and we got into the same college, we should be spending most of our time together.
苦手ではあるわよね。今の状況って負担を全部東役に押し付けてるようなものです。
Yeah, what a fucking bitch, am I right?
彼女のことを遠くに感じてるなら、それは 東也くんのせいじゃないわ。
Huh? Why do I suddenly feel like crying?
どうしたの？
Nothing. It's not important. This might be the first time anyone's ever validated my feelings about my relationship. Up until now, everyone's attitude seemed to imply this is something I just need to deal with. It's weird. Everything I've done with Sayoko, from going shopping to having coffee together to being on the phone for hours, stuff I've longed to do with Yuki. The girl who seems to dislike Yuki has somehow become almost like a replacement for her.
私は
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up emotionally, huh? You should tell that to a therapist. They'll have a field day with your ass. She dumped some sugar in her coffee before twirling the spoon in the cup.
しっかりそばにいてくれる人じゃないと。
What do you mean? You got your best pal right here. Your best friend. Your male friend.
私ってほらわがままだから。
She laughs awkwardly, but it sounds forced.
否定しなさいよ。
Her selfishness is part of who she is. But you always put everything into your work, Sayoko. I saw as much during today's recording session, and she acted with the younger colleagues in mind.
あら、同情してもらったからそのお返し？
That's not how I meant it. That's my turn to stir my coffee. I'm mirroring what Sayoko just did when she added sugar to her cup. After she takes a sip, I catch a whiff of her coffee through her exhaled sigh.
私たちって似た者同士ね。お前の価値は
Two
たった
little
これだけ
peas in
だ
a pod.
誰かに突きつけられてる気がする。
Although her analogy is pretty vague, I understand the sentiment behind her words perfectly.
私たちだったら意外と
Yeah, it's almost
う
like
まくい
we'd
くかもね。
make a good couple. Crazy. Oh, what a concept. But what if though? Just saying. Just saying, what if though? as a joke, you know. Wouldn't it be funny if you broke up with your girlfriend for me? But not really though. But what if? She closes her eyes, stopping any counter I could come up with in its tracks.
勘違いしないで。そういうつもりで言ったんじゃないから。
And, with that ambiguous line, she brings the topic to a close. She looks up at the sky through that large plate glass window of the cafe.
雲は多いのにいつまでも降らないのね。今日は空まで不器用なのかしら。
We move off the topic and never return to it.
今日は退屈だった？
That's how she interprets the sigh that slips from my mouth. No, I'm just tired. I've been dealing with a lot for a while now.
そうね。もっと体力つけてもらった方がいいかしら。
But like emotional stamina. Probably, considering this baggage isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
それはそうと、
And we move on.
あのさ、今思い出したんだけど、
Oh, what's that?
今思い出したことなんだけどね。
She repeats herself. I suspect, despite her insistence, that this something has been on her mind for a while.
あのね、
Yes? After making sure she has my full attention, she begins talking.
今度の新曲でちょっとイメチェンすることになってて。
Oh, a little glow up, you know, a little henshin. Yeah? What kind of new look? I realized all I did was give a nonplussed response. Like, what exactly?
より本格的に
Still, it's hard to change how people see you.
独り立ちしたことだし、これを機に本来の自分に立ち戻るのもいいかと思って。
Yeah, you know, instead of like being in the group of girls, you being, you know, that kind of sultry big boobed one, you can just kind of be, you know, you who is also that on the side. You know, implement it, you know, synthesis of the self and all that. You know, integrate your shadow. Let's get Jungian.
いつまでも桜目の如月さよ子というわけにもいかないし。
I guess this is her way of thinking about her future moving forward. It won't be easy. Seemingly unruffled by my overly cliche response, she continues.
そうね。冒険になるけど、やりがいはあるわ。
Won't you lose out on a lot of gigs if you change your image?
そうならないように頑張るしかないわ。これからは
Yeah, if you're swinging it as it, being a positive change,
テレビでの露出を
it'll be
増やさない
fresh, and you'll be more thinking of the word. I can't think of the word. No words. I can't think of words. Have a bigger draw. Let's just go with that. Just because AJ and Rena hate that approach doesn't make it wrong. If nothing else, it's clear she's motivated. So there's no point in saying anything that'll bring her down.
確かに私にもね、桜子クラブというブランドに甘えてたところがあると思うのよ。プロモーションもプロダクションに頼りきりで、
You just had to show up.
ただ追いかけてただけで。
Everyone handled all the hard shit on the back and in the side.
自分をどう表現していくかなんて真面目に考えたことなかった。自分が何者になるかは自分で決めないとね。
As she moves on from this less than stellar situation, will the makeover work into her advantage or not? It's hard for me to see her future being as bright as she imagines it to be. But the truth is that she can't keep her current situation forever. Though she doesn't need me pointing it out. I'm sure Sayoko, of all people, is already well aware of that.
いつまでも卒業に愚痴を言ってたって仕方ないわよね。だってメンバーが入れ替わらないと桜子クラブは続かないし。
Yep.
テーマパークみたいなものよ。ファンは桜子クラブという枠の中でそれぞれのメニューを楽し
They just chew you up and spit you out.
そういう楽しみ方も否定できないし。
But you're deciding to look at it in a nice way.
寂しいけど。
Sayoko. I know some people hate hearing this, but I'm not sure what else to tell you right now. Keep doing your best, Sayoko. Her expression instantly brightens on my basic words of encouragement.
もちろん。頑張らなくっちゃね。あの子たちのためにも私が道筋をつけないと。桜目を卒業したって私たちは何にでもなれるんだって。
You go, girl. There's still a hint of sadness in her smile, but not enough to diminish the dazzling brightness. She's a bona fide leader.
それじゃあ
Bona fide.
今日はここで。
Yep, see ya. Feeling of regret makes me pause for a moment. I can tell Sayoko feels the same way, that she hasn't started walking off just yet.
もう行かないと。
You guys just both staring there at each other, waiting for, the first one to move? I know. Chuckling awkwardly, the two of us begin heading off in the direction of our respective homes. But she suddenly stops again. Sayoko? She doesn't answer. I can tell by the look on her face she's lost in thought. You gonna go for it?
私の歌だわ。
Oh, you hearing it? Hearing her say that, I suddenly noticed the same thing. There's a Sakurako Club song coming from somewhere in the bustling city. Distant, distracted gaze returns to where I'm standing a short distance away. She forces out an awkward chuckle.
正確には桜子クラブのだけど。
Sounds like she's trying to hold back tears. Do you hate having to go down this new path in life, Sakurako? Sayoko. Ooh, don't call her by the club name. Yikes. Yikes. That'd probably be real bad for her mental, self-image. Ooh. She shakes her head slowly, her smile slipping.
そうじゃない。この曲ともお別れだと思ったら、どれだけ気持ちを込めても、どれだけ繰り返し歌っても、歌は作曲家と
Well, yeah, legally it's the record agency. They own the copyright.
今日は楽しかった。
Unless you self-publish,
それじゃあね。
it's never going to be your song. She abruptly turns away like nothing happened. However, I caught a hint of sadness in her smile. Cool! Well, with that emotional, complex turn of events, that is where we're gonna end it here for today, because I have an entire assignment to write tonight that I'm presenting tomorrow. Not even my fault of procrastinating or anything. It was literally given to us today. So I got to do that. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for notification. We'll see you guys in the next episode of White Album, Memories Like Falling Snow, where we will continue the Sayoko route and, you know, further become emotionally dependent on her, and our relationship with Yuki will degrade to a point where it no longer exists anymore. How exciting. Catch you guys all there later. Bye-bye.